Welcome back, grade 9s, to the Library Learning Commons. Today is day 2 for your assignment lessons on the multimedia photo essay. So today we're going to focus on finding copyright-free images and how to cite them properly, and I'm going to talk a little bit about music selection. So to start with, you have in front of you, you should have the handout called Photo Essay Tips and Criteria for Photo Selection. And you should have a pen or pencil because you're going to do some writing for an exemplar example today. So let's look at this sheet. So first of all, what is a photo essay? A photo essay is a collection of images that work together to tell a story to support a thesis, theme, or connect to an issue, which is the basis for your assignment. So here are some tips that you need to know. When you're doing a photo essay, you would want to find more images than what's required for the assignment so that you can choose the best images. So what I'm recommending you do is you find between 12 and 20 photos that you might think would work for this project. And then if I were you, I'd print out a small scale version of these photos, maybe in black and white, just to kind of see them, and spread them out on a table to have a look at them, to move them around, to see how is the story being told? What is the story being told? Does it communicate anything? You know, are there pictures that are, am I missing something? And then you can pick the best 7 photos to use for your project. So when you're actually going to find the images today, you want to think about what is the criteria for picking the pictures. So here's a list of some criteria. So first you want photos that have strong lines, both diagonal and vertical, have a mix of color, and some black and white. You want to have some that have people in it, maybe some that don't have people in it. You might want to have a whole scene at a distance. You might want to go close up, because having this whole scene gives you context, and going close up maybe highlights some important components. You also want to have a mix of photos that have powerful composition. You want them to evoke some emotion, but you don't want every picture to do that. You just want select pictures to do that because you need to have a balance. And you want to consider the audience. Who are you playing this PowerPoint for in terms of the photo essay? So those are some things to think about. So we're going to start by looking at where you can find some images. So the first place we're going to go is to the school website, which is emilycarr.ss.yrdsb.ca. Then you're going to click on the Library tab, and you're going to go to Images and Media. So there are 15 items here, but not all of these items give you images. So we're going to look at 2 of them today that we're going to investigate a little bit. So the Britannica Image Quest is a paid-for online tool that we've purchased for you to use, and at school when you click on it, it goes automatically right into the product. But at home you will need a login and password. The login is Emily Carr, no spaces, no capitals, and the password is Thunderbird. Okay, that is in your booklet that you got for the library orientation as well, and if you didn't have your orientation, you will have it soon, and you'll get that information. So let's just start. We're going to start with a search. So I'm going to do the search to find an image, just to help sort of show you how the tool works. So I'm going to choose from and you would put in your search terms based on the brainstorming that you did on the brainstorming sheet. One of the things I had on my brainstorming sheet for homelessness was homelessness and poverty. So I'm going to do that search, and I'm going to show you that I got 814 pictures that came up for that search. And I want to show you how you can use these filters to organize the pictures to find some specific things. So you can do it by collection. Let's say your teacher said that all the pictures needed to connect to Canada because you're looking at the community that you live in, perhaps. So I'm going to click that, and I show you they have a couple of photos that are taken about homelessness and poverty in Canada. I'm going to just go and uncheck that to show you that you can also filter by shape. So when you're thinking about your PowerPoint presentation, you want to think about some images that are going to be horizontal and some vertical. You could also include some that are square. So I'm going to just show you here. If I click on vertical, now it's going to just organize all the pictures that are vertical. Okay, so that helps you to do to get some variety, to get those lines that we were talking about. So I'm going to just go back here and choose all Canada photos, because I'm going to use this photo. This is the photo that I've cited on the handout that you have in front of you. So if everyone could look at that right now, I want to show you where all the pieces of information came from. So first of all, on your chit, I'm going to just make this smaller so I can show you. So beside here, we have the actual chit that you have. Okay, so the chit that you have is in front of you here, and I just want to show you where the information came. So the name of the photographer is actually found under the credits here. So when you click on the under here, you see the name of the photographer is Ian Cook. We talked yesterday that you reverse the photographer's name, so it's Cook, comma Ian, period. And if you notice, here's the title of the picture, and you notice that it doesn't have capital letters, and in MLA you must have capital letters on all your titles. Okay, so in this case you would, when you're typing you were excited, you'd put the opening quotes, homeless man sleeping on bench in Stanley Park, period, end quotations, and you would include the word photograph in brackets. That lets your teacher know when they're looking at your work cited that that was a picture that you were referring to, or a photograph. Okay, and then the next thing would be the title of the website. So here it says Britannica Image Quest, so that's what you put down. And it doesn't have any information about who the sponsor of this picture or this website is. It doesn't have that information. And it doesn't have the date that this picture was taken. So if I click on site just to show you that it does have that information, but if you look at this, here's the citation, and you'll notice that a lot of these online tools make mistakes because it's generated by the computer. So you are responsible for the content of your works cited. You are the owner of it, so you need to take responsibility to make sure it's done properly. So in this case, there's no photographer listed here, so this is incorrect. So you want to make sure you do it properly. You also notice they have no capital letters on this citation title, which is really important that you do. And it also has the wrong name for the database, for the website. It says the Encyclopedia Britannica Image Quest, when clearly it tells you here that it's just Britannica Image Quest. So you want to make sure that you have included that on your chit. So that's why you want to make sure you double check when they give you a citation with the chit to make sure that it's got all the information. Now on your works cited, you would not include a dash like this on your works cited. Your last entry would be Britannica Image Quest in italics, period. And then you would type the word web, W-E-B, period. And then you would do the date of access is 8 October, period, OCT, period. It's a short form, so you have to put the period, 2015, and the period. Okay, so that's how that's a good example from the Image Quest. So when you're doing Image Quest, you want to refer to this example. Most of them will be very similar. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to show you a different image. We're going to go to Images and Media, and we're going to use the Creative Commons because I know a lot of students, they like to use Google, and so I want to show you how you can use Google Images, but you can apply a filter. So I'm going to click on the Creative Commons. And here when you come, it automatically defaults to have this checked off. You're going to uncheck it. You do not want things that are for commercial purposes because you're not selling anything. And I'm going to put a very specific title into my search term. And if it was you, you would be putting in the search phrases that you wrote down on your brainstorming organizer. But I'm looking for a specific picture because I want to show you this one as an example. Okay, and I'm going to click Google Images. And it shows you the same interface that you're used to when you Google Images, but you have a labeled for non-use, reuse with modification, which tells you you can use these images. So I'm going to choose this image, and once you get to this screen, you're going to click Visit Page, because it's going to take you to where the photo actually came from. So I'm just going to not make this full screen so we can go back and look at our next example. So on your handout on the other side, there's an opportunity for you to do this with me. So you have here your chit, and I've numbered it 2 because it's a different image than the one that was on the front, which was the first image. So each chit has a different number because it's a different source in this case. And so let's look at what it has here for this image. So I want to just point out a couple things that you need to be aware of. So here you can have different sizes of this image. Okay, when you're downloading it. Now you don't want to make it the largest size because you only have a small amount of space to upload to Moodle. So you don't want the smallest resolution because if you make the picture bigger, it's going to be pixelated. But you want to find an average size, so 640 by 480 320 by 240 is a smaller picture, but you'll once you do this for a bit, you'll have a sense of what size photos. You don't want the biggest resolution because then you're going to have a problem at the end with the assignment being too large to upload. Okay, so that's something to consider. So let's look at the chit here now just to show you the information. So here it gives you the information that we need to know. So here is the author, and they just put it as an author even though it's the person who took the photograph. So his name is Andy Burgess. So you're going to copy this down. Burgess is the last name, and then Andy. Okay, the title of the photograph, we got to go back up to the top here. This is the title, so you have to put exactly what you see here. So it would be file : homeless guy on Yonge Street .jpg. So you do need to put that all in for the title. Okay, again with capital letters. Okay, let's look at the next thing. So the title of the website. So in this case, the title of the website is not at the top banner, but it is at the side here. It's called Wikimedia Commons. So that is in italics, and you would put it on the chit as Wikimedia Commons. Now the sponsor of this site is the same. So I'm going to show you at the bottom here. So it says here, Wikimedia Commons. So it doesn't actually show it here right now, but it does. They are the sponsor of the site. So usually it tells you at the bottom the sponsor, and I see that they've taken that off. Okay, but just so you know, whenever you take pictures from Wikimedia Commons, it will be the sponsor and the name of the site. Okay, it's the same because it's an organization. Okay, then you go back up to the top and you'd look at the date of the photograph. So it's 20 December 2009. Okay, and then the date you accessed it. Okay, so that would be the date that you took the picture and you saved it or used it. Okay, so I want to make sure you have this all copied down because this is a good example. So you have one from Britannica Image Quest, and you want one from using the Wikimedia Commons through the Google Images search with the filter. Okay, so that's important for you to use. All right, so now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about music. So for the music, when you go to find music, so the rule of thumb is that music for presentations must be purchased music or free music, not downloaded from YouTube. Okay, so I know a lot of students know how to do that, where they can go to YouTube, find the music video, and then rip the file as an MP3 file. Technically, you are breaking copyright in doing that, unless it's from the Creative Commons portion of YouTube, which very few things are. So there are some free music places that you can where you can upload and share music, but in some of those sites you have to be careful for explicit content. So you got to make sure that you're choosing appropriate content in terms of language, etc. So the best option is to purchase your song from iTunes and then search for your lyrics. Or make original music. That would be obviously a way around having to get music properly and to cite it. You would just create your own. So there is a sound recording chit for an MP3. So they are light yellow, and that they're different if it's from an album. So if you own the CD and you're going to use a song from a CD that you're going to attach to your PowerPoint, then you would use the green chits for a sound recording chit for an album, and they're slightly different, so you want to make sure that you know how to do that. So today your goal is to try to start finding images. So I would try to find images that you might use, a possibility, and start saving them to begin collecting ideas from those two searches, and also citing them. So when you're working today, if you have any questions, you can ask about what you need to do with the chits, and you have the two examples. So, and tomorrow we're going to look at the PowerPoint portion of the assignment, the actual putting it together. So hopefully that was useful for you, and good luck finding images that you're going to be happy with.